process in which water is by the plant roots from the soil. Okay, so how does this happen? I think most of us we have taken drink or juice using a straw. So the same process, it's what happens. Okay, they pour up the water through the stem, and then the water evaporates into the atmosphere. Okay, so we are going to look at the chart. We are going to look at this chart, which shows the main part in transpiration. We are going to look at this chart, which has got the main parts of the plant which are involved in transpiration. So we've got the leaf, we've got the stem there. So we'll start with the roots. Okay, so the roots absorb water and nutrients. Okay, the roots through from the soil through the process called osmosis. Okay, the roots through the process called osmosis. Okay, so we are going to go to another point. How do these nutrients and water, how are they transported? Transported to the leaves through the stem using the xylem tissues. Now the xylem tissues, these are the water and nutrients. Okay, to the leaves. Them using the xylem tissues. So as I said, the xylem tissues, these are the tubes that where the water and the nutrients pass through. Okay, these tissues are found inside the stem. Now in the leaves, this is where the plant make food. Okay, after the water has been transported through the stem, it goes to the leaves, and the leaves use some of the water to make food that is left. It is released in the atmosphere through the small openings that are found inside the leaf. This leaf here has see them, but they are there. Okay, so the small openings are what we call stomatas. So this is where the water is released in the leaves. Are we together? The water is released something. So in the leaves, okay, in the leaves, plants, in the leaves, plants uses water to make food. Okay, in the leaves, plants uses some of the water, okay, and the water and the extra water is released, okay, is released into the air small openings through small openings called stomata. Okay, in the leaves, the plants, it uses some of the water to make food, and the extra water that remains in the water in the leaves, the small openings called stomatas. As I explained earlier on, the leaf has got small openings. We cannot see them, but they are there. So the small openings that are found in the leaves are what we call stomata, air into the atmosphere. Then the next point we're going to look at is from the leaves, the food and water are transported through the tube-like vessels called phloem. Okay, from the leaves, the food and water are transported to the rest of the plant through the tube-like vessels called, okay, so just write something. Leaves, food and water are transported to the rest of the plant tube like vessels. Tube-like vessels called the, okay, so this is how the process of transpiration is. Okay, so as I was explaining earlier on, that The roots, they absorb water through the process called osmosis, okay, through the stem to the leaves. So the stem, they are tube-like that we call xylem, where the nutrients are transported. Okay, then the leaf also has got stomatas that release the water or atmosphere. Then from there, we're going to look at some of the factors that affect transpiration. We'll look at some factors. We'll look at some factors that affect transpiration. The factors that affect we'll look at the factors that affect transpiration, which will speed up or slow down transpiration. There are certain conditions that will speed up or slow down transpiration. So the first one we're going to look at is, so how does light affect transpiration? So light can also speed up and it can also slow down transpiration. So transpiration in light than in darkness. Okay, transpiration will happen faster in light than in darkness. It means that if there is enough light, transpiration will be, light is less, transpiration will be very, very slow. So the main reason for this, that light stimulates the stomatas to open in the leaves, the small openings. So the light will stimulate the stomatas to open more, so that the leaves release more water. Okay, not transpiration happens fast. Transpiration happens faster in light than in darkness. Okay, transpiration happens fast in light than in darkness. So we said the main reason for this is that the light stimulates the stomatas to open more water. The next factor we are going to look at is temperature. Is temperature. Before we look at temperature, you can send your SMSs for interaction on 09709. And just to remind your neighbors, those that are in grade 8, 10 and 11, that we have our online lessons on Facebook. For more details, they can contact the numbers that are. So the next factor is temperature. So temperature, okay, water evaporates faster from the leaves, where the factor of temperature comes in. water evaporates faster, or water evaporates faster from the leaves when it is warm. So water evaporates faster, okay, when it, so you know that when we have got a warm weather like the way it is today, it means that transpiration, these are the factors. So water vapor is going to evaporate fast. When the weather is water vapor versus transpiration will be slowed down. Remember, I said in the beginning that we're going to look at some conditions that will make that will speed up or slow down. We looked at light. So we said light, when there is enough light, transpiration happens faster than in darkness. And also with temperature, evaporation when it is warm. Our next point we're going to look at is humidity. Okay, our next point we're going to look at, okay, so when the air is dry, humidity is dry air. So when the air is dry, the leaves lose more water. Okay, when the air is dry, more water. I'll just write the points, can be copied down as I'm writing. When the air, comma, leaves lose more water. Okay, so when the air is dry, leaves lose more water. So this speeds the process of transpiration. Okay, then our fourth factor we're going to look at is wind. Okay, our next factor we're going to look at is wind. So when the leaves remains more humid, okay, when there is no wind, the air around the leaves remains humid and goes down. So wind also plays a very important role in transpiration. So if there is no wind, then the process of transpiration will be slowed down. There is no air around there means more humid. And transpiration slows. When there is no wind, the air around the leaves remains more humid. When we talk of humid, we say dry. Okay, it means more humid, and the process of transpiration. Last point of factors, we look at groundwater. Okay, so you ask yourself, but why groundwater? Okay, enough. So if there's not enough water in the soil, okay, if there's not enough water in the soil, transpiration will slow down. So we need a lot of water in the soil in order to take place. Okay, so if there is no water in the ground there, the roots will have nowhere to absorb the water. Okay, so either speed up or slow down the process of transpiration. So I'll just write something. Okay, so the fact there, groundwater transpiration will slow down if there is not enough water. The factors that will affect transpiration, whether it will speed up or they will slow down transpiration. So we looked at light. So transpiration happens faster in light. That the main reason for this is that the light stimulates the stomatas to open more, so that the water in the leaves evaporates fast. Okay, the water evaporates faster when it is warm. Okay, so when it is warm, the water vapor will evaporate fast. Then we came to humidity lose more water. So if the leaves are losing more water, transpiration, the process of transpiration is faster. Okay, when the leaves lose more water, the process of wind. So if there is no wind, the air around the leaves remains more humid, and transpiration slows down. And the last factor we looked at is transpiration slows down soil. So today we looked at the process of transpiration and some of the main parts of the plant that are involved in transpiration. So we should remember that transpiration is the process roots from the soil. So this pulls up through the stem and then evaporates through the leaves into the atmosphere. And we looked at are responsible for absorbing the nutrients from the soil through the process called osmosis, and also that the water is pulled up in the stem through the tissues called the xylem, and also the tube-like vessels called the phloem to the leaves. Okay, so from this I'll just write a few questions that you're going to answer. We'll go through our questions. Okay, question the 2 questions for homework. So next time we come, we'll look at those 2 questions. And for today, until we meet again tomorrow, remember in grade 8, 9, 10 and 11 that we have our online lessons on Facebook. For more details, they can contact the number that are scrolling. SMSs for this lesson, you can just SMS me on this number 0970 70 31 39. 0970 70 30 SMSs. Then I'll respond when I come back, or next time we'll meet when I'll be teaching science. So for this day, thank you very much. Till we meet again.
I'm thankful that I'm living again. I'm thankful that I'm living again. Nalelo batani kokoliko. I'm thankful that I'm living again. Nalelo batani kokoliko. I'm thankful that I'm living again. Nalelo batani kokoliko. I'm thankful that I'm living again. Nalelo batani kokoliko. I'm thankful that I'm living again. Nalelo batani kokoliko. I'm thankful that I'm living again. Nalelo batani kokoliko. I'm thankful that I'm living again. Nalelo batani kokoliko. I'm thankful that I'm living again. Nalelo batani kokoliko. I'm thankful that I'm living again. Nalelo batani kokoliko. I'm thankful that I'm living again. Nalelo batani kokoliko. I'm thankful that I'm living again. Nalelo batani kokoliko. I'm thankful that I'm living again. Nalelo batani kokoliko.
ZambianMusicBlog.co.
I'm thankful that I'm living again. Nalelo batani kokoliko.
ZambianMusicBlog.co.
I'm thankful that I'm living again. Nalelo batani kokoliko.
ZambianMusicBlog.co.
I'm thankful that I'm living again. Nalelo batani kokoliko.
ZambianMusicBlog.co.
I'm thankful that I'm living again. Nalelo batani kokoliko.
ZambianMusicBlog.co.
I'm thankful that I'm living again. Nalelo batani kokoliko.
ZambianMusicBlog.co.
I'm thankful that I'm living again. Nalelo batani kokoliko.
ZambianMusicBlog.co.
I'm thankful that I'm living again. Nalelo batani kokoliko.
ZambianMusicBlog.co.
I'm thankful that I'm living again. Nalelo batani kokoliko.
ZambianMusicBlog.co.
I'm thankful that I'm living again. Nalelo batani kokoliko.
ZambianMusicBlog.co.
I'm thankful that I'm living again. Nalelo batani kokoliko.
ZambianMusicBlog.co.
I'm thankful that I'm living again. Nalelo batani kokoliko.
ZambianMusicBlog.co.
I'm thankful
Good
that I'm
afternoon,
living
boys
again.
and Darius Daka. My name is Mr. Darius Daka, and today we are going to look at social studies. We are going to look at social studies, specifically our people of Zambia. Our topic today is the people of Zambia. So, boys and girls, it is important for you to know where you and I are coming from. It is important for you. I believe you've been wondering as to where we are coming from as Zambians. So today I've come to deliver this lesson so that you are able to know at the end of the day where you are coming from. So at the end of this lesson is for us to identify where the people of Zambia are coming from. It's for us to identify where the people of Zambia are coming from. So let's ask the San people. The first people to live in Zambia are called the San people. So the first people to live in Zambia are called the San people, who are also called Bushmen. The San people are also called Bushmen. So the first people to live in Zambia
are called the San people, and these people are also called Bushmen. So the Bushmen people, and these were the first people to live in Zambia. So how did the San people lived in Zambia, or how did they survive? How did they survive? The earliest people to live in where these were hunter-gatherers. So the San people were hunter-gatherers. What does it mean when we say they were hunter-gatherers? They were hunter-gatherers in the sense that they used to hunt animals. They used to hunt animals such as antelope and are found in the bush. They used to hunt animals that are found in the bush for food. Okay, so they used their spears also to catch fish in shallow rivers. So these people were hunters, meaning that they would go out to hunt animals using their bows and arrows. So they used bows, arrows to hunt animals. They used bows, and these people, boys and girls, they were also gatherers. What does it mean when we say they were gatherers? Meaning that they used to gather wild fruits for food. They used to gather for food, They used to gather wild food and vegetables for food. They would gather wild fruits such as berries, masuku, and others in order for them to eat. Okay, so they would gather masuku and others in order for them to eat. Before we continue with the lesson, boys and girls, if you have got any questions, you can SMS me on this line, which is 09709. You can SMS me on this line, 09707033139. You can use that line in order for you to ask questions, and I'll be able to respond. That our online classes are running on Facebook, so you can contact the lines that are scrolling on your screen in order for you to enroll for online classes. Okay, and girls, so I said that the San people were short people. The San people were short people, and the other name for the San people, they were called Bushmen. The other name is people used to gather wild fruits and vegetables in order for them to eat. They used to gather wild fruits and vegetables in order for them to eat. They also used bows and arrows in order for them to hunt animals. That's how the Bushmen lived in Zambia. So in short, Bushmen, bush another, meaning that the Bushmen were nomads. The Bushmen were nomads. Who is a nomad, boys and girls? A nomad is a person who moves from food or for a better land. A person who moves from one place to another in search of food is called a nomad. So the Bushmen were nomads, meaning that they used to move from one place to access food and water, meaning that these people could not stay at a specific place or in a certain place for a long period of time. They used to move search for food. So meaning that the San people were nomads. They moved from to another to look for food. To look for food. So it is important for you to understand that a nomad is a person who moves from one place to another in order for them to look for food. So bushmen were also called, meaning that these bushmen lived in the Stone Age period. They lived in the Stone Age period. So the Stone Age period is a period where they used stones in order for them to cut meat, even to kill animals. They used stones such as pebbles in order for them to cut meat, and then they could even use them to kill animals. So the San people lived in the Stone Age period. Okay, so this is all about the bushmen, boys and girls. The second group of people. Okay, let's go to the second group of people, and these are called the Bantu-Speaking People. These are called the Bantu-Speaking People. Okay, so boys and girls, who are the Bantu-Speaking People? The Bantu-Speaking people came from Adamawa, and speaking people came from Adamawa and Cameroon Highlands. You must understand that these are the same people who used to live in the Sahara Desert. Before it was a desert, it was there. But after they had cut all the trees down, they moved from there in order for them to search for a better land. So as they were moving eastwards, they came into what is known as Congo DR today. Okay, so in Congo DR they formed two kingdoms. In Congo DR they formed two kingdoms, and these were the Luba and Lunda. Bantu-speaking people formed two kingdoms, and these were the Luba kingdom and so when they reached Zaire, which is there on my map, okay, Zaire groups, which is the Luba and the Lunda kingdom. Then from there now they began to separate. From the Luba kingdom and the Lunda kingdom, they began to separate. Okay, so it is believed are the earliest people to arrive in Zambia. The Tonga-speaking people are the earliest people to arrive in Zambia. So when the Tonga-speaking people moved, they moved down into southern province. So you can see on the chart there, that's the southern part of Zambia where the Tonga-speaking people settled just after moving from Zaire. So it is important for you people to settle in Zambia. Now, boys and girls, it is important for you and me to understand that the moment the Bantu-speaking people came into our country, they found who were hunter-gatherers and who were hunter-gatherers and also nomads. So what did they do? When the Bantu entered into Zambia, they chased, where do we we find the San people? We find them in the Namib and Kalahari Desert. We find them in the Namib and Kalahari Desert. The Namib Desert is found in Botswana Sound in Namibia, and the Kalahari Desert is found in Botswana. That's why you find the San people today. So you must also understand that when the Bantu-speaking people came into Zambia, technology compared to the San people, we must understand that these had better technology compared to the San people. Why did they have better technology? They had better technology in the sense they use iron, meaning that these were iron smelters. Okay, they were iron smelters, meaning that they used to smelt iron to make different tools, in order for them to make different tools. So they made tools such as spears. They made tools such as spears, axes, and made tools such as spears, axes, and hoes. They used spears in order for them to kill animals. They used spears for them to hunt animals, and then they used trees. They used axes for them to cut down trees, and then they used the hoes in order for them to cultivate the soil. They use the hoes. So this is about the Bantu-speaking people. This is about the Bantu-speaking people. Don't worry, boys and girls, if I'm too fast, we'll go through the notes again for you to understand. The Bantu-speaking people were iron smelters. The Bantu-speaking people were iron smelters. Hence, they lived in what is known as the Iron Age. The Iron Age period, meaning that this is the period where they used iron for them to make different tools. Okay, so they used iron for them to make different tools. The Bantu-speaking people, when they came into Zambia, these had a centralized society. They had a centralized society. So the Bantu-speaking people had a centralized society. What does it mean when we talk of centralized? It means that they had chiefs, okay? They had chiefs and indunas who used to rule them. They had chiefs and indunas who used to rule them. So each time anyone for them to resolve their issues, they would go to the chief in order for them to resolve their issues. So these had a centralized society compared to the San people who had no one to rule them, who had no one to rule them. So the other point is that these Bantu-speaking people built better homes. They built better homes. Okay? They built better homes compared to the San people. They built better homes compared to the San people, meaning that they could build homes using mud and what are known as thatched houses. Okay, while the San people used to live in caves. So for the San people, they lived in what? In caves. While the Bantu-speaking people lived in better homes. They lived in better homes, and they had a centralized society. They lived in better society. So, boys and girls, If we look at the Bantu-speaking people today, these Bantu-speaking people are you and me. The Bantu-speaking people are you. The Luva-Lunda kingdoms that we've talked about, which settled in Zaire, these Luva-Lunda kingdoms had different tribes. These Luva-Lunda kingdoms we had the Lozi-speaking people who went and settled in Western province. We had the Lozi people who went and settled in Western province. We had the Luvale people who settled in Northwestern province. The Kaondes also found themselves in Western province and Northwestern province. Okay, so we also had the Soli people who settled in Lusaka. Then we had the Tonga people who settled in Southern province. We had the Tonga people who settled in Southern province. We had the Lenja people who settled in Central province. We had the Chewa people who settled in Eastern province. We had the Chewa and Ngoni people who settled in Eastern province. We had the Bemba-speaking province. We had the Bemba-speaking people who settled in Northern province. And we had the Lundas who settled in Luapula. So boys and girls, you can be able to identify other tribes, two tribes in our nation Zambia today. All these, they came from the Luva-Lunda kingdoms. All these, they came from the Luva-Lunda kingdoms. So boys and girls, let's go through. So today we've talked about the San people. We've talked about the San people. So I said the San people were also called Bushmen. These were short people. Okay? These were short people. People were also hunter-gatherers, meaning that they used to hunt animals. They used to hunt animals for food, and they used to gather crops or vegetables for food. The San people lived in caves. The San people lived in caves. Okay, they used bows and arrows to hunt animals. They used bows, and the San people were nomads. The San people were nomads, meaning that they used to move from one place to another to look for food. They used to move from one place to another in order for them to look as the Stone Age period. They lived in what is known as the Stone Age period, meaning that they used stones in order for them to cut meat and to kill animals. They used and to kill animals. Okay, so that's all about the San people. Now let's go to the Bantu-speaking people. The Bantu-speaking people came from Adamawa and Cameroon Highlands. So due to land wrangles in those areas, this forced some of them to move eastwards. They couldn't because of the forest that is along the equator. So they were forced to move eastwards into Congo DR. Congo DR is just somewhere there. So when they settled in Congo DR, and these kingdoms were the Luva and the Lunda kingdom. They formed the Luva and the Lunda kingdoms. So from there now they separated, and that's how these tribes came. And so I said that the first people to settle in Zambia were the Tonga-speaking people. The first people to settle in Zambia were the Tonga-speaking. You want to SMS me, you can use this line 0970 703139. You can use 09707031. We have got online classes on Facebook. We have online classes on Facebook which are running. So you can subscribe using the lines that are scrolling on your screen. You can sub on your screen. Okay, so getting back to our topic, boys and girls, you must also understand that the Bantu-speaking people were iron smelters. The Bantu-speaking people were iron smelters, meaning that they smelted iron. They smelted iron, and they used the same iron to make tools such as spears, axes, and hoes. Spears, axes, and hoes. They used spears in order for them to kill animals. They used spears in order for them to kill animals. They used axes in order for them to cut down trees. They used hoes in order for them to plow or to cultivate the field. They used hoes in order for them to cultivate the fields. I've also said that the Iron Age, the Bantu-speaking people lived in what is known as the Iron Age period. They lived in what is known as the. What does it mean that what does it mean when we say they lived in the Iron Age period? It means that they used iron in order for them to make the tools that we are just from talking about. They used the iron talking about. And then we have also said that the Bantu-speaking people had a centralized society. They had a centralized society, meaning that they had and indunas. They had chiefs and indunas who used to rule them. They had chiefs and indunas who used to rule them. Today, boys and girls, got the different chiefs in different tribes today. For example, you can talk of the Litunga of the Lozi people. Okay, you can talk of Chief Gawaundi of the Chief Mpezeni of the Ngoni-speaking people. So all these chiefs come from the Bantu-speaking people, meaning that the Bantu-speaking people had centralized society who didn't have chiefs. Okay, so again we have said that the Bantu-speaking people had better homes. They had better homes compared to the San-speaking people. Better homes made of thatched grass. They lived in homes made of thatched grass and mud. Okay, so you must also understand farmers. The Bantu-speaking people were farmers, meaning that they grew crops such as millet. Okay, so they grew crops such as millet, sorghum, and vegetables. They grew crops such as millet, sorghum. So they grew crops such as millet, sorghum, maize, and vegetables. These were the crops that they used to eat in order for them to sustain their families. They ate these themselves and their families. Okay, so you must also understand that the Bantu-speaking people kept animals. they kept animals. Animals such as goats, pigs, sheep, they kept animals such as goats, pigs, sheep, and cattle. You can also add there, if you want, you can even put chickens, okay? So they got pigs, sheep, and cattle. So they use these animals in order for them to feed their families. They could use cattle in order for them to plow their field. They got meat and milk from cattle. They got eggs and meat from chickens, and they also got meat from these other animals. You must also understand that the Bantu-speaking people kept, or they reared dogs. They reared dogs for security, okay? Or they kept dogs for security. The main reason why they kept dogs is for them to protect themselves against any attacks from the Bantu-speaking people. All right, boys and girls, let me check if you have sent any messages which I may answer at this point. Okay. All right, I have received one SMS, and this SMS reads, "What do you mean?" Received one SMS, and this SMS reads, "What do you mean by indunas?" Okay, so boys and girls, when we talk about indunas, okay, these indunas were more like elders of the village, meaning that the chief had greater authority compared to the indunas. So the chiefs, the indunas, anyone had a problem, before they go to the chief, they could report their case to the induna, and then if the induna fails to solve that problem, they could take the case. So the indunas were elders of the village. They were elders of the village. I hope I have answered that question. All right, so it seems that we have any SMSs apart from the one that I'm just from reading. Okay, so let me go through quickly what we have learned today. Okay, so women, and then these were also hunter-gatherers. They lived in caves. They used bows and arrows to hunt animals. They were nomads, meaning they moved from one place to another to look for food, period. Meaning that they used stones in order for them to cut meat and to kill animals. Okay, apart from that, we have looked at the Bantu-speaking people. The Bantu-speaking people, kingdom and the Lunda kingdom in Zaire, which is currently known as Congo DR. Okay, so the Bantu-speaking people were also iron smelters, meaning they used to smelt different tools. Okay, so they made tools such as spears, axes, and hoes. Okay, again, the Bantu-speaking people were iron. They lived in the Iron Age period. So we've also said the Bantu-speaking people had a centralized society, meaning that they had chiefs and indunas who ruled over them. Okay, homes. They built better homes. They grew crops such as millet, sorghum, maize, and vegetables. They kept animals such as goats, pigs, sheep, and security. So boys and girls, let me give you homework which you do at your own time, of which when we meet again we'll be able to revise. Okay, so let me give you homework which when we meet again we shall revise, or we shall start from there. Alright, so boys and girls, the questions you understand by the following. Number 1, nomad. Number 1, nomad. Number 2, stone age. Number 2, stone age. Number 2, name grew. Name 3 crops Bantu-speaking people grew. Number 3, the other name for sun people is dash. The other name for sun the other name for sun people. Boys and girls, you can copy in your exercise books, and then when we meet again we'll pick it up from there. Let's just check if there's anyone who has sent any text messages. Okay, let's just at the moment who has sent any messages. So boys and girls, this is where we end our lesson for today. When we meet again, we shall pick it up from there, from Dhaka. Till we meet next time, it's bye-bye and God bless you.
I'm thankful that I'm living again.
Best time, well done.
Mimi, please come. Sorry.
in the morning, I heard you shouting and shouting. I even thought I was hearing you in my dream. So what happened?
I came out this morning. Soup I cooked last night. I did not see any meat inside my pot. And this is not the first time this thing is happening. Anytime I keep food in my house, it's either my meat